Medical revelation. 7 nighttime rituals that could be silently killing you. Have you ever wondered if your nighttime habits are secretly sabotaging your health without you even realizing it? What if I told you that every night inside your own bedroom, you perform rituals that silently increase your risk of a heart attack or stroke while you sleep? What would it be like to discover that simple gestures that you repeat on automatic can be programming your body to get sick? Recent scientific studies are revealing an alarming connection between our nighttime habits and the risk of serious cardiovascular disease. What happens in the hours before bed can literally determine whether you wake up the next morning. And the scariest thing, most people have no idea of the dangers hidden in their nightly routine. This truth may sound scary, but don't worry. Knowledge is power. Why are these habits so dangerous? What is modern science discovering about the impact of sleep on your cardiovascular health? In this article, I'll reveal the 7 most dangerous nighttime habits that may be compromising your heart and brain health, and what you can do to protect yourself immediately. Let's get started. The heart secret that is hidden in your nightly routine. Your body is not a machine that simply shuts down at night. During sleep, vital processes of cell recovery and regeneration occur that directly impact your cardiovascular health. Science now understands that the night period is when your cardiovascular system performs essential maintenance. The heart slows down, and blood pressure naturally decreases during the night, allowing blood vessels to recover from daily stress. This phenomenon, known as nocturnal pressure dipping, is crucial for protecting your cardiovascular system. When your nighttime habits interfere with this natural process, you put your heart under silent and dangerous stress. Recent research from the University of Chicago revealed that people with inconsistent sleep patterns are 40% more likely to develop heart disease. The study, published in the Journal of the American Heart Association, followed more than 2,000 participants for 5 years. These data alert to the need to reevaluate what we do before bed. Each of our choices before bed triggers a cascade of biochemical reactions in the body. And now let's find out what the most harmful habits are and how to replace them with healthier alternatives. The good news is that small changes can have an extraordinary impact on your cardiovascular protection. What you do in the next hour can completely alter how your body will function for the next 20 years. Are you ready to find out which habits are quietly attacking your heart? A. The liquid trap that can cost you your life in the dark. You've always heard that drinking plenty of water is essential for health. And it really is true, but with one crucial caveat. The moment matters much more than you think. Drinking large amounts of fluids before bed creates a potentially fatal trap waiting for you in the middle of the night. This practice causes nocturia, the need to get up to urinate during the night, disrupting not only your sleep, but putting you at immediate physical risk. The real danger is not in the water, but in what happens when you get up sleepy in the dark. Studies from Stanford University's Sleep Research Center show that nocturnal falls are responsible for more than 28% of hip fractures in the elderly. Your motor coordination, balance, and reflexes are severely compromised in this state of semi-consciousness. Dimmed lighting combined with orthostatic hypotension, sudden drop in pressure when standing up, creates the perfect setting for serious domestic accidents. A hip fracture isn't just painful. It's associated with a mortality rate of up to 30% in the first year after the incident. In addition, every sleep disruption has serious metabolic and cardiovascular consequences. Research from Harvard University shows that waking up 2 or more times to urinate is associated with a 300% increase in the risk of cardiovascular mortality. When your sleep is disrupted, cellular recovery processes are incomplete, resulting in chronic inflammation. This persistent inflammatory state progressively damages the inner lining of blood vessels, accelerating atherosclerosis. To protect yourself, focus your hydration during the day, drastically reducing fluid consumption in the 2 to 3 hours before bed. If you feel thirsty at night, limit yourself to small sips just to ease the immediate discomfort. Also, avoid natural diuretics such as coffee, black or green teas, and alcoholic beverages at night. Your bladder and your heart will thank you for changing this seemingly harmless habit. And remember, frequent nocturia can be a symptom of serious conditions like congestive heart failure or uncontrolled diabetes. See a doctor if this problem persists, even after adjusting your moisturizing habits. Are you inadvertently putting your health at risk with another seemingly harmless habit? 2. The digestive time bomb that detonates while you sleep. That hearty meal just before bed may seem comforting, but it's creating a metabolic storm in your body. When you consume a heavy meal close to bedtime, your body receives contradictory and confusing signals. On the one hand, your brain prepares for rest and recovery, slowing down physiological functions. On the other, your digestive system is ordered to speed up, increasing blood flow to your stomach and intestines. This internal conflict forces your body into a state of alertness when it should be relaxing. Delayed digestion activates an inflammatory cascade that keeps your cortisol levels elevated, preventing your blood pressure from showing the nighttime reduction needed for cardiovascular protection. A pioneering study from the Federal University of Uberlândia in Brazil demonstrated that eating regularly after 8 in the evening significantly increases the risk of abdominal obesity. Visceral fat, the fat that accumulates around the abdominal organs, is metabolically active and releases inflammatory compounds directly into the portal circulation. These chemical messengers intensify insulin resistance and increase cholesterol production in the liver. Even more alarming is what happens to your blood pressure during sleep after a late meal. Normally, your blood pressure should drop between 10 and 20% overnight, a phenomenon called dipping that protects your cardiovascular system. Late, heavy dinners often result in a non-dipping pattern, keeping your pressure chronically elevated. A study published in the European Heart Journal showed that individuals with a non-dipping pattern are 3 times more likely to suffer a cardiovascular event in the next 5 years. It's like keeping your car's engine at high RPM for hours on end. Wear and tear is inevitable and cumulative. To preserve your health, eat your last substantial meal at least 3 hours before bedtime. If you feel hungry around bedtime, opt for small snacks that are high in protein and low in refined carbohydrates. A small portion of plain yogurt with nuts or a slice of turkey with avocado are options that won't overwhelm your system. Give your body the opportunity to really rest at night, allowing cellular repair processes to happen without interruption. Your next evening meal can determine whether your arteries recover or deteriorate during sleep. The choice is yours, and now you have the knowledge to do it right. But what about the technology that accompanies us to bed? 3. The treacherous light that sabotages your heart while you surf the internet. That habit of checking your phone, tablet, or computer before bed is silently sabotaging your cardiovascular health. The blue light emitted by electronic devices directly interferes with the production of melatonin, the sleep-regulating hormone. This hormonal imbalance not only makes it difficult to fall asleep, but triggers a number of harmful metabolic effects. When melatonin is suppressed, your internal biological clock, known as the circadian rhythm, becomes dysregulated. This misalignment affects virtually every system in the body, including the regulation of blood pressure and heart rate. Researchers at Harvard University found that just 2 hours of blue light exposure before bed raises blood sugar levels and promotes insulin resistance similar to early diabetes. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology revealed that participants exposed to nighttime blue light had an average of 7 points elevated systolic blood pressure. This elevation may seem small, but chronically maintained, it significantly increases the risk of strokes and heart attacks. Blue light also alters heart rate variability, a crucial marker of cardiovascular health and the autonomic nervous system's ability to adapt. A low heart rate variability is strongly associated with higher mortality after cardiac events. In addition, nighttime exposure to light from screens increases levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, creating a state of hypervigilance when your body should be preparing to rest. High cortisol levels chronically stimulate vascular inflammation and promote hardening of the arteries. To protect your heart, set up a screen-free period of at least 90 minutes before bed. If you must use electronic devices, turn on blue light filters or wear special glasses that block this wavelength. Replace nighttime internet browsing with reading physical books, meditation, or quiet conversations with family members. Your email, social media, and news can wait until tomorrow, but your heart can't wait for protection. The investment of those 90 minutes without screens can literally add years to your life. And if such a simple change already has significant benefits, imagine the impact of optimizing your position during sleep. 4. The positioning that's choking your brain every night. The position you sleep in isn't just a matter of comfort. It's a crucial decision for your neurological and cardiovascular health. Sleeping on your back often aggravates snoring and obstructive sleep apnea, reducing brain oxygenation. The prone position forces your cervical spine into extreme rotation, compressing vertebral arteries that feed critical brain regions. But beyond these known issues, recent research has revealed a surprising mechanism that connects your sleeping position to long-term brain health. During sleep, your brain activates the glymphatic system, a neurological cleansing network that removes toxic proteins and metabolites. Groundbreaking studies from the University of Rochester have shown that this brain cleaning system works up to 60% more efficiently when we sleep on our side compared to other positions. This process is crucial for eliminating beta amyloid and tau proteins, which are directly associated with the development of Alzheimer's and other dementias. The lateral position also optimizes blood flow to the brain, ensuring adequate supply of oxygen and nutrients throughout the night. Proper cerebral blood flow is essential for neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections and repair damage. Researchers at Stony Brook University have confirmed that sleeping on their side, whether left or right, promotes more efficient drainage of brain metabolites. To maximize the benefits of this position, consider using a pillow between your knees to keep your spine aligned. Proper neck support is also critical to avoid strain on the carotid arteries, which supply blood to the brain. If you have difficulty maintaining the lateral position during sleep, try a full-body pillow or place a cushion behind your back. People with certain heart conditions may specifically benefit from the right side, which reduces pressure on the heart. Conversely, pregnant women are often advised to prefer the left side to optimize placental circulation. Consult a healthcare professional for personalized recommendations based on your specific conditions. The simple change in sleeping position can be the difference between a brain that ages healthily and one that develops neurodegenerative processes. Your brain does a vital job of self-cleaning every night. Are you giving it the best conditions for this process? What if other environmental factors in your bedroom are compromising your cardiovascular health? 5. The deadly thermostat that turns your blood into a silent menace. The temperature of your bedroom can be a deciding factor between a restorative night and a quiet cardiovascular risk. Your body needs to reduce its internal temperature by approximately 2 degrees to initiate and maintain deep sleep. A very hot environment directly sabotages this essential biological process, resulting in fragmented and shallow sleep. But the real danger goes far beyond sleep quality. It directly affects the composition and fluidity of your blood. Excessive heat at night accelerates dehydration, even if you don't notice fluid loss through sweat. This subtle but progressive dehydration increases blood viscosity. Your blood literally gets thicker. Researchers at the Cardiovascular Institute of New York demonstrated that every 5% increase in blood viscosity correlates with a 20% increase in the risk of thrombus formation. More viscous blood requires more force to pump, raising your blood pressure and overloading your heart. Imagine the difference between pumping water and syrup through a piping system. The energy required is drastically different. In addition, more viscous blood is more likely to form microclots that can obstruct small brain and heart vessels. These micro-obstructions rarely cause immediate symptoms, but gradually compromise the function of the organs by reducing their blood supply. The ideal temperature for a bedroom is between 18 and 21 degrees Celsius, as recommended by the American Academy of Sleep Medicine. If you live in a hot climate or don't have access to air conditioning, consider alternatives such as targeted fans, mattresses with cooling technology, or body cooling techniques before bed. A warm, not hot bath before bed, helps induce a natural drop in body temperature, making it easier to fall asleep. Sheets and sleepwear with natural fabrics like cotton or linen also improve ventilation and reduce overheating. Monitor the humidity of the room as well. Very dry environments accelerate dehydration, while excessive humidity makes it difficult to cool the body. A humidifier or dehumidifier can be a valuable investment for your cardiovascular health, depending on the climate in your region. The temperature of your bedroom isn't a matter of luxurious comfort. It's a medical necessity for cardiovascular protection. But even with the ideal environment, another seemingly harmless habit can trigger a heart disaster in the early hours of the morning. 6. The nighttime hormonal storm that's blowing up your arteries. Nighttime stress is a cardiovascular time bomb that few recognize until it's too late. Ruminating on problems, overplanning the next day, or consuming stressful news before bed aren't just unpleasant habits. These practices trigger a biochemical storm in your cardiovascular system through the prolonged release of cortisol and adrenaline. Your body can't distinguish between real threats and imagined worries. It responds in the same way to both. This constant state of fight or flight during a period of rest keeps your arteries constricted and your heart alert. Researchers at the University of Chicago have shown that individuals with nocturnal cortisol elevation show up to 45% increase in coronary artery calcification over 5 years. Chronic exposure to cortisol damages the endothelium, the delicate inner lining of blood vessels that regulates dilation and constriction. A dysfunctional endothelium does not respond adequately to signals from vascular relaxation, keeping your blood pressure elevated. Persistent nighttime stress also increases the production of inflammatory cytokines, molecules that promote the formation of atherosclerotic plaques. These plaques not only narrow the arteries, but can also rupture suddenly, causing thrombosis and acute vascular occlusion. Stress-related insomnia creates a vicious cycle. The less sleep you get, the more stress hormones are produced, which makes it even harder to sleep. This cycle is strongly associated with the development of drug-resistant hypertension and cardiac arrhythmias. To stop this destructive cascade, establish a consistent relaxation ritual before bed. Deep breathing techniques, guided meditation, or gratitude journals can significantly reduce nighttime cortisol levels. Limit exposure to triggering stimuli like heated discussions, work planning, or disturbing media content in the 2 hours before bedtime. If persistent worries interfere with your sleep, set aside structured worry time earlier in the day to actively process them. Aromatherapy with essential oils such as lavender and chamomile has demonstrated clinical efficacy in reducing cortisol levels and inducing relaxation. Your cardiovascular system desperately needs this period of stress-free nighttime regeneration to maintain its long-term integrity. Allow your heart and arteries to really rest through the night, and they will serve you faithfully for decades to come. But even with all these precautions, the moment you wake up can be the most dangerous of the day if not managed correctly. 7. The morning movement that can trigger a heart attack in seconds. The most dangerous time for your heart may not be during intense exercise or extreme stress, but in the first few seconds after waking up. The simple act of jumping out of bed immediately after opening your eyes poses a surprisingly high cardiovascular risk. Medical statistics confirm it. The highest incidence of heart attacks and strokes occurs between 6 and 10 o'clock in the morning, with a pronounced peak in the first hour after waking up. This phenomenon is no coincidence. It is a direct result of human physiology and inappropriate morning habits. During the transition from sleep to wakefulness, your body undergoes dramatic changes in seconds. Your heart rate accelerates rapidly, stress hormones rise, and your platelets become more adhesive, ready to form clots. Standing up abruptly adds another critical stressor: orthostatic hypotension, a sudden drop in blood pressure that can temporarily reduce cerebral blood flow by up to 30%. For a brain and heart already under stress from waking up, this additional reduction in oxygen could be the ultimate trigger for a catastrophic event. In people with pre-existing arterial plaques, This is the perfect time for a rupture. The increased pressure, combined with more adhesive platelets, creates the perfect storm. Studies from Emory University's Division of Cardiology have demonstrated that heart rate variability, a crucial indicator of cardiovascular health, is at its most vulnerable right now. This risk is even higher if you've slept in a very hot environment, are dehydrated, or have pre-existing cardiovascular conditions. The solution is surprisingly simple, but few know about it. The 30-second rule. Upon awakening, lie down for 10 seconds, breathing deeply and allowing your body to recognize the transition to the waking state. Then, sit on the edge of the bed for another 10 seconds, allowing your blood pressure to stabilize in this intermediate position. Finally, stand upright, but remain next to the bed for another 10 seconds before taking the first step. This 30-second ritual allows your cardiovascular compensatory mechanisms to adjust gradually, avoiding the stress of abrupt awakening. To maximize protection, hydrate immediately with a glass of water kept on your nightstand. Rehydration helps reduce blood viscosity that has developed during non-fluid sleeping hours. This simple change in your morning ritual can literally be the difference between life and death, especially if you have cardiovascular risk factors. But while these habits are important, ignoring warning signs during sleep can be even more dangerous. 8. The breathing alarm your body emits and you ignore. Snoring isn't just a nuisance to those who sleep next to you. It can be the most important sign of a potentially life-threatening problem. Loud snoring, especially when interspersed with periods of silence followed by gagging or sighing, is the calling card of obstructive sleep apnea. This condition goes far beyond a bad night's sleep. It's a devastating silent attack on your cardiovascular system. During an apnea episode, you literally stop breathing, sometimes for more than 60 seconds. Your blood oxygen level plummets, often to values that would be considered medical emergencies if they occurred during the day. To survive this recurring asphyxiation, your brain sets off desperate biochemical alarms. A cascade of adrenaline and norepinephrine floods your circulation, causing extreme blood pressure spikes that can exceed 200% of normal values. Imagine subjecting your heart and arteries to hundreds of these mini heart attacks every night, night after night, year after year. The consequences are devastating and scientifically proven. Untreated apnea increases the risk of drug-resistant hypertension by up to 80%. The risk of atrial fibrillation, the most common arrhythmia and leading cause of stroke, triples in patients with moderate to severe apnea. Heart failure and coronary artery disease progress much faster in the presence of this condition. The warning signs are clear, but often normalized: intense snoring, breathing pauses observed by partners, waking up with a feeling of suffocation, waking up with a headache, dry mouth, or extreme tiredness even after 8 hours in bed are additional symptoms commonly overlooked. If you recognize any of these signs, don't normalize them as part of aging or just tiredness. Seek medical evaluation immediately and request a polysomnography, the gold standard test for diagnosing sleep disorders. Treating apnea, whether with positive pressure devices, CPAP, intraoral appliances, or surgical interventions in select cases, can literally save your life. Long-term studies have shown that patients with treated apnea reduce their cardiovascular risk to levels close to those of the general population. Don't ignore this cry for help from your body. Respond to it with the urgency it deserves. Your family deserves you to be present and healthy for many years to come, and proper apnea treatment is one of the most important steps in that direction. But there's an even more dangerous habit, hidden in a place where you'd least expect it. 9. The pharmaceutical mistake doctors are finally confessing to. We have arrived at the potentially deadliest habit: the misuse of common medications, often recommended by outdated medical practices. Drugs such as benzodiazepines and non-benzodiazepine hypnotics, used to induce sleep, do not promote restful rest. They only sedate the brain. This impairs deep sleep and increases the risk of falls, especially in the elderly. Research from the University of California points out that its continuous use can increase the risk of dementia by up to 50%. Another important alert involves blood pressure medications. For years, the Hygia study has influenced doctors to recommend nighttime intake of these drugs. However, new, more reliable studies have revealed that this orientation can be dangerous for certain groups. The Time 2022 and BedMed-Frail 2024 surveys showed that, for most patients, the timing of medication does not affect cardiovascular risk. In frail older adults, taking these drugs at night can cause falls and cerebrovascular events due to excessive pressure drop during sleep. The real risk lies in following old guidelines without up-to-date medical support. The only validated rule is consistency in the time of medication, defined with the doctor. Never change the time of the medicines without professional guidance. Your doctor evaluates your complete profile before indicating the best time. Re-evaluate your medication annually. Medical science is constantly evolving. Following current evidence can save lives. Awakening to a protected and full life. After exploring 9 dangerous nighttime habits, it's clear that small daily choices shape your cardiovascular destiny. The good news is that simple, practical adjustments can reduce these risks. Even after years of bad habits, your body is incredibly responsive to positive changes. Studies indicate that the endothelium of the arteries can improve in just 14 days with lifestyle changes. Small, consistently applied decisions create strong protection for the cardiovascular system. Establish a consistent nighttime routine to signal to your body that it's time to rest. Hydrate well during the day, but reduce fluids in the hours before sleep. Avoid heavy meals before bed and prefer anti-inflammatory foods. Create an ideal environment, temperature between 18 degrees Celsius and 21 degrees Celsius, darkness and silence or white noise. The 90-minute screen-free rule preserves melatonin and improves sleep. Sleep on your side, with pillow support for comfort and neurological health. When you wake up, practice the 30-second rule to avoid cardiovascular overload. Be mindful of sleep apnea and review medications with your doctor. Cardiovascular health is born from decisions made in the quiet hours before bed. We are not only looking for longevity, but quality of life and independence. Your cardiovascular future depends on the choices you make now. Every night is a chance to regenerate body and mind. Start today, implement changes gradually. Share this information with those you love. Prevention is always better than treatment.